Hey, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be creating a starter ranch just using the Sims 4 base game and of course the brand new horse ranch expansion. The best thing about this ranch is that you get this entire shindig for only 19,000 simoleons, meaning you literally need only just one sim to be able to purchase the slot. However, that's great for you because it could actually house up to 4 sims given the fact that it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath property, and therefore you could have a ton of simoleons left over to either upgrade the place or maybe invest in some horses or mini livestock or whatever your heart desires, honestly. So where I had to cut corners obviously was the exterior. It's not a crazy elaborate shell by any means, but I had fun utilizing the brand new wallpapers with like that distressed texture. Also the floors in this pack, there's not very many of them, but I do really like all of the flooring that we got. The cool thing about this pack that I personally feel is that it's very integratable with even just the base game. So for a very long time, the like metal roofs that came as a part of the base game, I never even touched. Like I rarely ever played with them. But with this expansion, I feel like they complement each other so well, especially when you throw in that little stone chimney. I just love how it adds just the right amount of detail. Like the right, just the right amount. I love that. Also the columns and just the wood textures and tones and everything about this kit seems to be so detailed. If you get up close and personal to the columns, you can actually see like the knots in the wood. And for some of them, I think they're a little more distressed than others. So you can see like the veining and like the age. So I thought that was really cool. There's a lot of character in those columns. Now the layout is where I personally struggled the absolute most. I didn't like the way that it looked, especially given the fact that when you walk in through the front door, it's a pretty open floor plan. So I decided to add in a little like a little hallway just to kind of break it up. And I feel like it makes the layout look a little more intentional and a little more cohesive. Now, because we do have nectar making off the back of the ranch, I wanted to make sure that you had a way to get back there. So I decided to spend a little bit of money and I added in a little drop down, or not drop down, but like a drop off porch. So you can't really put anything back there like a grill. You can't really do much with it, but at least you'll save some time because you won't have to go through the front of the house, which is, in my personal opinion, like a godsend. So we have pretty much finished the shell of the home. I'm going in, adding in the little stone floors. I love these floors. I think they complement the wood tones so perfectly. The only thing that I would say about this pack that I wish there was more of was wallpapers, especially because all of the wallpapers are kind of either like, you know, cabin themed or they're like the slats and the paneling, and that's great. I love that look, but it would have been really nice to maybe get some like metal siding or perhaps maybe some more country-esque wallpapers to add a little bit of variety because I felt like I was kind of limited in that way. I really do like the brand new cabinets. Originally, I was kind of feeling that they were very similar to the, cottage living pack or country kitten kit. Country kitten? Did I just say that? Country kitchen kit. But even though these still are, I do like them. I really do like them. And especially if you only have the Sims 4 base game and this expansion, it is a good set to have. I really love this pot rack though. I'm like low-key obsessed with it. I love the decor items too that are in this expansion. I think they're beautiful. I never also ever touched that like barrel trash can, but I have been using it quite a bit. I did decide to go with something just a little bit cheaper, obviously, just to cut some corners, but I love that barrel trash can, especially when you're making kind of more of like a farmhouse styled home. So the cabinets were definitely being a little finicky for me. Sometimes, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but when you like put a cabinet set together, there's like a gap or like a space in between. So I kind of had to change that up a little bit. But even though there isn't a lot going on in the bathroom, or the bathroom, did I really just, yeah, I did. The kitchen, it still came together in the end. Also, the curtains are probably one of my absolute favorites. I also love like the chairs and the dining room sets that are a part of this pack. I did go with the base game table and then, use the horse ranch chairs to kind of, surround it or whatever. So I was trying to figure out what to do with the living room. Of course, I used the cast iron fireplace or stove, whatever you want to call it. I also placed these rugs that were part of the expansion kind of throughout the house. So it'll be in the main bedroom and then also in the living room. Wasn't really sure to do like what to do with this space. I wanted to incorporate that desk because I think it's beautiful, but then I realized that I needed a place to put in perhaps a bookshelf if that's something that interests you, also to cut costs because like a computer be very expensive and I don't really feel comfortable just leaving the desk bare like that. So if you want to switch it up or use your extra simoleons to do a little upgrade in the corner there, obviously you're welcome to do so. I did do like a little tapestry, bull skull, just to kind of liven up the walls, nothing too crazy. So the main bedroom is very minimally decorated. Keep in mind this is a starter ranch after all, but I love like the open wardrobe concepts that they have put in. I also like the skinny wardrobes and the mirror. Just, I'm not gonna lie, like build buy in this expansion is probably one of my favorites, like hands down. I think it's very solid. I think it's very well done. And even though the aesthetic has been done before, I feel like the items are very proprietary to the pack. Now, it was important for me to make it a 2-bedroom, right? So I mentioned that earlier. I decided to decorate for a children's bedroom, but not any children's bedroom. I figured this bedroom here would probably be geared towards a sim that was entering teenagehood. So I'm thinking like 10ish, maybe not super into the toys anymore, but we have like a little teddy off in the corner, and I think that's really about it for toys. So yeah, I'm thinking more of like tweenage, I guess. I put an ottoman back onto the bottom of the bed there because I wanted to add in a little extra something, but where did the ottoman go? Like, why was it there and now it's not? What the heck happened? Oh my god. Okay, there it is. Did I like do that twice? That's kind of weird. Okay, so one thing I thought was kind of cool is there's a couple ceiling lights, but one of the other ceiling lights that I didn't use for this build actually have candles on them. I didn't realize they were real candles. So obviously they function off the grid. While I'm playing with my sim Jordan, who was the main character in my mini series, the Sims 4 Horse Ranch mini series I did on the channel, and she had not been paying her bills. I cheated her funds too because she got like way too rich from nectar making, and I also cheated a lot too. So I decided to cheat her funds and kind of make it a little bit more of a challenge. Well, then obviously she wasn't able to pay her bills, which were like 1,200 simoleons, and so our power got shut off. And then I'm like, why is it still light in here? So I looked at the ceiling lights, and they're freaking like actual candles. Like there's smoke coming from them. So I thought that was really cool, like super cool. It definitely bought me like a day or so I could come up with the funds, and then the water went out, and then yeah, I had to pay 1,200 simoleons. So here we are with the layout, or not the layout, but the landscaping, right? The landscaping of the ranch. I wanted to make sure that you had enough space for a little stable for your horses. We have, of course, the barrel track, or the barrel, whatever you want to call it, obstacle. Now, the reason why I decided to go with the barrels versus the rails is because right there, as you guys can see, we already have the rails, so it wouldn't make sense to have both. And I don't think it's like a huge inconvenience for you to trot off your lot and go and do the rail obstacle if that was what you wanted to do. I do throw in like a little ball. And then I also added in, I guess, like that nectar making station that I talked about earlier. And then I do add in like a couple planters and stuff. And you can put whatever you want there, obviously. If you don't have any interest in nectar making, then you could use that for, flowers or herbs, vegetables, whatever your heart desires. So it's completely up to you. There's a lot that you can do with this ranch, given the fact that it's, again, just a starter build. It's kind of crazy. But of course, to make it kind of affordable, I did have to use a lot of debug, and debug is so strong. Debug is like so strong in this expansion. There's a lot of cool fun items, things that you wouldn't expect to see, but also have a lot of like functionality in the sense of like dressing up your home, your lot. I really loved this little wishing well looking thing. It's not functional, but it just added something to the front of the house, whereas I felt like it was kind of vague and empty otherwise. Sometimes I have to like pinch myself and remind myself that this is basically a base game build with only one expansion, because to me it feels so detailed, and I feel like there's so many different items and assets from other expansions, if that makes sense. It just doesn't feel like it's just a 2-pack build for me. It just doesn't. But I wanted to dress up the front yard, so I decided to add in a little like stone walkway next to the wishing well. Let me just not even get started on the terrain. Oh my god, the terrain for Chestnut Ridge is probably the hardest terrain to like mimic that I've personally ever encountered, because there's dirt, there's sand, and we have grass, and to make that kind of mesh well to the surrounding area was definitely a little bit of a challenge. And I'm not gonna even lie, it's probably not perfect, but I'm doing the final few finishing touches. And if you want to move into the Wildfin Horse Ranch, you're welcome to do so by downloading it on the gallery Gen2606. But I do have a quick favor to ask you. If you could you go into the gallery and type in Gen2606 and let me know if I'm showing up, because there's a few people who have said that I no longer exist on there, which kind of makes sense because I feel like my downloads, like people aren't downloading anything. So I'm wondering if I'm wondering if AI suck, which, hey, or nobody is saying anything. So if you could do that for me, just let me know. And of course, if you're interested, that is where it will be. So I'm throwing in some little haystacks. We're playing around with a little rocking chair here. Any last like little finishing touches I can add, that is what basically what I'm doing here. And I also kind of switch up the wallpaper in the interior of the build too, because I felt like it was just, there was too much wood, too much paneling. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the speed build, and if you did, you know what to do. Don't forget to go ahead and comment, rate, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below where the sun doesn't shine, and I will see you all next time. Bye guys.